aspects. We also have to take care of few logistical requirements. Now, what are those logistical requirements? First requirement is that you guys have been requested by either me or any of the other faculties, and you kindly concentrate your time to be here. So let us be very clear on that. That we have not, any one of us have not forced you, pulled you here. You are here by your own consent. It's not voluntarily. Second criteria is that these discussions would be recorded here and also on videos on my phone. Third thing is that we will use your profiles will be completely anonymous. We won't be only like me. We don't do only people like me and madam and suppose Bola. It would not be disclosed who you are and what you are. Okay? Only the discussions that we conduct only yourselves, only that will be recorded. That will be used for the project. Now, if you are okay with all those things, then for, again, as I said, logistical requirements, you can go through this very short note. Pass it on. So why we have chosen you people? You people are you are the guys who have some notion about influencers, so it may be any domain, and we try to keep a mix and match of the age groups. Okay. Okay, you can be open out. You also have one of our PhD scholars. He's a PhD scholar. So we have different age groups. Now, next thing is that you go through it. At any point of time, if you feel whatever is given in the sheet, whatever I have declared, doesn't go by the way you think it will be, you are free to leave this room. However, if you feel that it is okay with you and we can officially start the discussion with the recording to be started, then you kindly put your signature, your name, and date, and then we start.
Even if you don't have.
Say on that matter, that particular, there will be some issues. You can stay silent. Or you can say that I don't have anything specific to say. You got a pen? Everyone's done. Pass it on. So let us then, I hope all of you consented. Okay, so let's start. And, we can have a bit of, say, okay, so we can start straight away with a bit of ice breaking. You can have a very brief intro about yourself. Let's start with this one.
Very good evening, everyone. I'm
Bit-
Rishita
bit
Damani.
louder.
Very good evening, everyone. I'm Rishita Damani and I am from Calcutta. I'm a college graduate from St. David's College, Kolkata. And for the last 30 months, I've been associated with AD Launchpad as a marketing executive.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anand, and I'm a mechanical engineer. And now I'm currently pursuing my second year of MBA here at Apple Core.
Very good evening, everyone. My name is Ishita Pandey and I'm a first year student in MBA core. I hail from New Delhi and I have completed both my bachelor's and master's in political science and then I decided to pursue MBA. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Neeraj. I'm a PhD scholar over there. Having around 23 years of experience both in sales and marketing as well as in academics. I'm in my second year of PhD under the aegis of my supervisor, Dr. Tata.
Hey everyone, my name is Ivan Dhur. I'm from Calcutta also. Did my undergraduate Bachelor of Management Studies, specialization in marketing in the last year. Whatever work I have done since then mostly revolves around the marketing domain, the internship for full time. And it also involves social media as well. So I have some exposure to say the least.
Hello everyone, I'm Athena. I'm from Bangalore. I graduated from St. Joseph's College of Commerce, Community last year. I'm currently pursuing MBA in HR.
Hello, I'm Samantha. I'm from Chennai. I graduated last year. I did my BSc Psychology. Right now, I'm also on MBA HR.
My name is Gurpreet Singh. I'm from Mr. Punjab. I did my bachelor's in business administration from Khalsa College of Mr. And right now I'm pursuing MBA.
Okay, so guys, now we'll try to delve into the main discussion. So anyone of you can start. To start, you can talk about which are the platforms, or say which are, and within the platform, which are the influencers that you follow, and what is that reason that you follow that particular person and not anyone else in the same category. Anyone can start.
So I follow on YouTube as a platform and I follow First Post and particularly the show of Kishan Mukherjee. She has a show called Vantage. This is a new show basically, and I don't follow any other show because, to be very honest, I don't find any other
You're
news
talking to
channel.
your friends.
I don't find any other media news channel as informative and as crisp and as informing as she is, and particularly the way she delivers the message. It's really nice to listen to. She's a great communicator that way, so I follow her for that reason.
And, like, I am also quite active on Instagram and I mostly follow influencers on Instagram. So I follow influencers who are in fashion and lifestyle. So such as Muskan Janana, she's from Mumbai and she's very famous and associated also with Bollywood. Also, I follow influencers such as Mahima Chawla, who is from Delhi, and she makes a lot of videos on new kind of types of dresses and different kinds of traditional as well as Western dresses. And I also follow Ankush Bahujuna, who is also a very famous influencer from Mumbai, and he does a lot of videos on skincare. So they really have an impact on how to dress up and how to treat.
So I also am usually more active on Instagram as compared to other sites. And the influencers I follow are usually of a niche, mostly in the motorsport or sort of automobile oriented category. So I follow people like F1 Stats Group out of Bengaluru, Bhatt Tech also out of Bangalore. Both of them are very well delved into the Indian F1 scene and in general. And I also follow a few sort of journalists who are into the automobile industry, like Salis Babu. He is based out of Mumbai. And I'm a little active on X Twitter. Over there, usually I mostly follow influencers. I wouldn't say they're influencers per se, but personalities who are involved in the aviation sector. They might be journalists, they might be CEOs, but whatever posts they push out are usually informed.
After COVID, my perception about social media completely changed, and I got off most of the platforms. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on anything. I'm at YouTube right now, and like LinkedIn because of my issue right now. So at that time, so my perspective about influencers also changed. I moved on to influencers who prioritize mental health and something around like self-development. So the two people I followed, I'm following them right now as well, are Daily Stoic. He's a Ryan Holiday. He is Daily Stoic content. He delves into ancient Stoic philosophy and he talks about that. Second, I follow is Dr. Healthy Gamer. I used to be a video gamer in my plus one, plus one. So he actually delves into it, gamifies the whole process of actually improving your life and improving your mental health. Those are the two.
So I noticed since then I only just like YouTube. And I use YouTube only when I'm trying to like figure out if I should like buy this product or not. So I use influencers for their actual purpose, which is to get products and like get reviews. And I follow like influencers who have like similar skin tone as me or who have like similar hair type as me because only then I'll be getting like real feedback. And so one of the influencers I follow is Monica Ravichandran. And what is Yogita? And Yogita is from Chennai as well. So I really have access to everything that she is talking.
The influencers that I follow are of different domains because I don't stick to one. And usually I just follow them for fun and not because I want to buy certain products or anything. And maybe it's my age, but I really, get into videos or content because of clickbaiting or clickbaiting. And that's like my favorite part. And the influencers I follow, one of them is Anushka from Bangalore. And she does product reviews and she talks about brands and companies. So it's not like your usual factual information, but she makes it fun. She has everything. She has pictures, she has graph, but not in the boring way that you think. And she also uses the products that she's buying. And usually these are products that I am also willing to buy. So she gives very honest reviews about her products, and I've seen this over the years with her videos. And another influencer that I follow is Olivia Sun. She is from the US. And she is from a like different category because she talks about a lot of things that involve like emotional and human aspects of people. And sometimes when some kind of human behavior make me think that I'm maybe too woke to understand this, but she tries and understands in a way that I also understand, and that's what I like.
I was introduced to the world of share markets. We did again to be the lockdown period by CA Rachna. So a few of her videos, she has a post on this, and few of her videos are available on YouTube for free of. So my introduction to that side of the side hustle actually started with CA Rachna. I might not be too focused on her right now because she still continues to come up with content on YouTube. But then my initial introduction was through her videos and chats and stuff. So that's one influencer that I'm really influenced.
Like not following them like influencer as in named influencers, but as I mentioned, like as you mentioned on the similar lines. So like I just go to gather information, etc. So I don't follow anyone. So I went to Rachana Rangade's profile, then I went to Srivastava, who lives in Goa, very close to my place. Then I went to there's one current channel that's called as Bistak. They present financial market data in Hindi. It's very precise, it's very like, concise. So you don't find anything that is influential, it's just a news channel. Apart from that, there's this fitness person, he is trained great personalities like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. His name is Jeff Cavalier. He's not an influencer, but he's a more of a medical kind of guy. But he is in fitness. So the way he teaches you things is he's very influential, but he's not an influencer. So that's so I just go like you mentioned, I am also very auto enthusiast. So Autocar India will be on my YouTube channel all the time, page all the time. That's it, yeah.
So
Which combines both formality as well as a fun aspect. Like there is this influencer called Chase Craft. He is a sort of bodybuilder influencer based out of the UK, and he provides his own coaching sort of models as well. And his way of explaining things is very fun in the sense he uses very day-to-day analogies. He will show us how the body accumulates fat or reduces fat. It is something simple as just this spray. He'll show us as we'll compare it as water. So that is something interesting. But at the same time, the way he explains it, at least using, let's say, British slangs, British references, in general, niche references, pop culture references, that is what makes it appealing because the same thing can be, told or informed to us by a doctor or a proper physiotherapist. But the way he is able to put it into a storytelling manner, which is something similar with all the influencers which I follow, they all package the product in a way that it carries on as a story. It's not 100% serious. Yes, there are bits and pieces of seriousness, but they package it together in a fun manner so that it, hooks my attention in the first few seconds and manages to carry on for the 30-second reel, 1 minute reel, or a carousel post.
What is majorly infectious about Rachna Nande is basically enthusiasm to actually share the knowledge that she has. So again, also she herself is a CA, a chartered accountant. So there is that strength, that knowledge about whatever she's speaking. So that also helps. Plus the infectious nature of the enthusiasm that she puts on. And then if anybody has seen her videos, that would be 2.5 hour videos. And then this enthusiasm is carried on throughout. So it really shows that she is interested in whatever she is doing. She believes in whatever information she's caring to share. So all those things helps us to connect at a very much personal.
All of the famous point, the person that I follow second company A, he's actually he's a psychiatrist. He's licensed to operate in US. So whenever he talks about psychology or something he's explaining, he's very professional about it. But the problems that he takes up, it's from Reddit. Reddit is a place that is very known and it has that lingo that we use, right? So he explains it in a way that is very to explain complex topics, right? In a very simple manner, and he uses that. He
The influencer which I follow, I find that when it comes to Ankush Gupta, he speaks very nicely. And the way he displays the products, they make me they make myself attracted to the products immediately. And the way he displays different styles. So I find them very useful for my daily life as well. Like what product is new in the market. They showcase it in a very unique way. So that really attracts me.
I already shared about the way Pakistan was spoke and her articulation of thought that is what really attracts me in her videos and also the person I don't follow these people for getting influenced as such, but for just getting knowledge.
Another important aspect of any influential influencer is that they come down to the level of the audience. They try and understand what the audience requires and then they offer this. And because of that, again, you are able to relate because this is what I want to know and that is exactly what I'm being offered. So that
So I think, so both like the two influences that I mentioned previously, since they were talking. So Yogita actually talks in a very soft manner, and it's like, it's not like YouTube shorts, they are proper 10. So whole like process. So I really like the way that she talks, stuff. I feel like these days most YouTube shorts are just like screaming at you. She talks speaks very slow. So I really like the way she talks as well. And with respect to Monica, I think the thing that I really like about her is how that she's actually loyal to her brand. Like when she's promoting her product, she makes sure that she's using that product in like multiple other reviews as well. So that trust she's built with like her audience, and I like that. And another influencer that I want to talk about is Jack Edwards. So he's actually like a book talk influencer, and he talks about like books, like a lot of books, and he's reached so like such a high level that now he's like posting commercials. So with respect to him, I think all these three people like make jokes and like they're like very funny, and that's also something that I look for in influencers.
So for me, when I'm, I follow an influencer, it's basically just based on relatability. And if that person looks like me, has the same personality, looks as me, as me to body type, facial structure, all of that, and speaks like me, and I'm from Bangalore, so like slang are like the biggest thing. So that I look forward to, and also it's just I watch a lot of movies and consume a lot of media. So every time somebody uses a reference that I get, I'm immediately. And I follow this one girl called Magita from Germany and Steph Borders, and their videos are completely different. Like Magita's videos are very chaotic, and I love that. And Steph Borders are very soft core, and I love that as well. So whenever I'm like overwhelmed, I watch their videos. I mean, they're completely opposite, but I watch both of those videos to calm me down. And I think whatever gets my adrenaline pumping, that's what I do.
For me, I think influencers, if I had to explain or like talk about them, actually I began my YouTube journey with NPTEL videos. Right, so they are like 4 hours, 6 hours stretch. So that's how, and that's the reason my shorts don't really make any sense to me. So when I start watching any influencer videos, so like all of you mentioned, there are smartphone, auto, movies and comics, beauty, food, infrastructure like home, house buying. I go through all of these. So I'm sad. I don't know how many hours I've spent. So like you mentioned, there is storytelling. There is storytelling. There are certain videos they don't actually rely on their narration. They rely on their video editing skills. So to that you will be like influenced by that product. Just thinking the way, oh, that might look good on this. So it goes. There is humor. There is sarcasm. There is a pleasant way of telling things. I don't know. Do you follow Strel? Is a bike or auto bike. So that's another way of influencing people. The entire video will be him, his helmet camera and his bike. That's it. He'll be narrating. So I think algorithm finds a way to duplicate people's narration, and it will not let you go ahead of others. So I think every single influencer has to find a new way somehow. So I have a channel. It's not that big, but I was trying to learn these algorithm tricks and tips just to get ahead of it. So even I was trying to learn my own narration skill. I think that's the case with it. Yes.
Yes, and why is that?
Because since time, and I subscribed to them like 5, 6 years back. As I grew, my personality changes, the way things that I look out for changes. And but they, as their content, like you're talking about algorithm, since like something works for them, they try to like stick in the same thing and they don't move on, they don't develop. And so that's when I usually like unfollow them and they still have the same type of content reproduce again.
Like just to get ahead of this curve, I found a new trick. So just to get out of the stagnation of stuffing,
Yeah.
we can also call it crowding. So I found out this one app called as Brave Browser. So what it does is it lets you browse YouTube without ads, and your history will remain. But the moment you wipe it, you don't have to follow anyone, you don't have to sign in. You can just watch whatever you want. So the algorithm don't bother. So I think last time Power Drift was the last channel that I had to unfollow. Because I was done. It was too much.
But sometimes, like in case of YouTube, what happens is I tend to make sure that I like things so that I like so that the algorithm shows more of such things to me. Like I don't want a clean YouTube that is recommending me stuff that I don't not relate to. So it's a plus for me that the algorithm is working in my favor. It's pushing me things that I really like. That is one.
Yeah, sometimes I do get mad when I'm like shows coming. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this.
I think Instagram used to agree that there are times where there's a glitch and your entire explore goes back to generic thing. You see scenery and houses and that sort of irritates me yesterday. But the only times I think I unfollowed an influencer or a page, are we considering pages as influencers or individuals? So there have been times where I've unfollowed a lot of pages and a lot of sort of creators on YouTube as well. Simply because when I started following them, it was for a specific purpose, or I started following them after seeing a specific piece of content. The moment they start diverging from that, the moment it goes away, I unfollow them because then there is no more relevance. For example, I used to follow this guy called Vishnu Kaushal. I think you guys might have heard of him. He has a lot of funny reels. I really like the way he creates his reels in the Punjabi accent. So I used to follow him initially, him and his brother Govind. But after a point of time, it all started becoming repetitive. That's same camera angle, the same weird way, the same weird filters. So I unfortunately had to unfollow him because I would rather see that content being thrown up in my explore page by the algorithm as I keep scrolling around instead of it being ever present on my feed.
Yeah, I started watching Hamza Ahmed. He made very long form content, very focused content. But when he started to get some fame, he started to like make his content more short, like 10 minutes and even lower than that. So at that time I thought that his channel is not adding value and I'm wasting my time at his and I stopped.
I also like, I used to follow some content creators who like make videos just for humor, but sometimes their humor can go up to an extent which is not which I don't find, which I don't find making sense. And the humor which they display in their videos, sometimes it does not have any sense. So it goes deviates from common sense. That's why I decided to unfollow some content creators because humor should be something also with some meaning. So that's
I
it.
think on YouTube, a very relevant example would be that one sort of generation of YouTube content creators, Gary Vaynerchuk, Ashish Islam, Harsh Beniwal, Angry Flash, all of them.
Stop making a lot of.
Yeah, but I believe they stopped making those content because they saw that everything was shifting onto TikTok and Instagram shorts. So this is diversified and moved themselves from that entire platform. Ashish Silani still posts, Gary Vaynerchuk still posts, Harsh Beniwal I think also has some activity. BBUI is also, I don't think there is any a lot of as frequent activity as it used to be. So I think that's also a thing that after a point of time, the creators understand the trend and they move away from particular platforms.
Like I unfollowed I used to watch like first very crazy fan following for YouTube was from for a biker Mumbai mission famous.
Yeah.
But then he started but he started losing his relevance and the content became repetitive. And sort of well
past that stage, you already have to stop relating to that content as well.
And also, and also when, if I'm like during cat, relationships, or like cat related, not cat related. I did not like cat case content. Well, like other, like a lot of people, and then once cat was done, I did not want to see one thing about cat. So I'm like unfollowed.
How many of us were part of the subreddit called cat preparation?
Yeah.
We used to refresh every day, every day.
Yes, yes,
I got an 80-day streak just because I used to go back to that page. The moment everything was done, I haven't opened Reddit since.
yes.
I think our life phase is also even if the
Yes.
influencer is like make the same content as during my 11, 12, I was a very avid anime watcher. Right? I used to watch it like I used to binge it. So I'm also very interested in watching its analysis and whatnot. And I followed a lot of YouTube channels regarding that. But after some time, I lost my interest in it. I had to unsubscribe from everything because I don't like it anymore.
For me, when I was younger, when I was 15, 16, I was still in high school. I used to follow all these self-help pages, so-called self-help pages on YouTube and, even on Instagram. And there were like a certain, women that I used to follow on there. And I used to think they were like big deal back then. I used to live by whatever mantra they had for life. And now as I've grown up a little bit, I've matured a little bit, the kind of advices they were giving were so toxic. Like they've put self-help and self-love to an extreme pedestal where it's just narcissism at this point. And I couldn't realize it back then. But now that I'm looking back at it, I don't know how many people have heard that kind of like content that I've been projecting onto other people. And also, it is just pure hate towards like maybe, another gender or another community that they are, promoting. And it's not just like, oh, love yourself, when they're like scented candles and that big groves and you're like, oh, this is so nice. This is what I want to be. But it's not what it's all about. And people, they kind of get lost in their, vision of, oh, this is so pretty, this is so beautiful, and they don't see past it. So that's why I had to like unfollow a lot. It's like that.
Seems to be
Talk about content in our environment.
When they use this there's this thing called influencer voice, where it's like, hi guys, and then it's not like, they start like elongating everything, and it's like high pitched all the time, and that like, anytime I hear anyone talking like that, I immediately just like move away from that. So, like,
Jump cuts as well. When they're talking, jump cuts. Yeah, jump cuts in the videos as well, and when they're talking, that repels me instantly. I'm like, out. I don't want to watch this way.
I think everyone's heard about Flying Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He started off strong,
Yeah.
but then the way he started incorporating his family so much into his own content,
Yeah.
making jokes which were bordering on misogyny and sexism, using his own daughter. He made a page with his daughter's name, which was for flying simulation videos. So at that point, this was the COVID time only, I think 19 and 20. I used to follow him initially till he was, just fixated on aviation. I'm an aviation fan, I'm very much interested in it. So I used to follow him because I thought, okay, this guy is genuine. But the moment I started seeing his new content, I think he currently produces ghee right now for some reason. I don't know how he went from a ghee manufacturer. He makes protein also. He was also a fitness influencer. So he had multiple pages. It was like he had a product mix as a personality in himself. So since that started, I unfollowed him because it's like he was trying his hand at everything to garner publications and sort of plug one stream of followers into the other one. The worst part was how he sort of commercialized his family for his own needs to push himself. That's why I'm following back for long.
It comes with some kind of bias that the influencers possess. Like they might not agree with the point, but they still say it. And that's somewhat, but if it comes to their body language and especially as the influencers I follow in the beauty context, they have a very good body language and the way they display things, the way they talk is very nice, but sometimes they can also be biased because they might show some products which might not be that good, and when you purchase them, you might feel disappointed. So
So in case of like politics, like I'm very much into politics of the country and like, for example, this one side we have two party. And I also used to watch another person who was on the complete right side of it was Sham Sharma show or something. And over the years I realized that I don't like this person's content and I don't like his views, but still I used to watch it just to see that what is there on the other side of the table. Right, another viewpoint, completely different viewpoint is different from me. And same goes with Dhruv Rathi also. There are many videos that in which I don't relate to him at all and I'm completely opposite his viewpoint. But still I want to watch that video just to know that what the other person is thinking.
If we are specifically talking about body language, so the influencers that we see on their videos, they are different. But if they are on someone else's channel and you actually, you see their body language shift, that repels, that again repels. Because you see that this person is two-faced person. This is not, but he's not actually acting natural, right? That is a
That one of the influences Guru Rathi is, if you see you call it the picture that shows before you get it.
Like
thumbnail.
The moment I see thumbnails of few influences nowadays, I'm not kidding.
You ever seen one like this?
No, you feel that he's I don't know who mentioned it there, like the influencer voice. You can actually hear that without even feeling it. Can I see that somewhere?
Mr. Beast videos, I used to never watch them. I used to like where it was one or two like back then when it started, but now it's just gotten crazy. So it's not crazy. Initially, we used to do like donation and something like that. And I used to feel happy. It's like if I watch this, someone is getting paid somewhere. But now he's doing like crazy load, like he's like Squid Games and exactly. Yeah.
I should speak and
And one more thing, which is not like body language, but behavior. This was very specific to this influencer. So she used to like promote products, like you said, she used to promote products, but then she never used to say ad. So she would get that as PR, but she would not tell it's an ad, even though everyone knows it's an ad. And once when she was confronted about it, she said, I thought it was general knowledge. If the audience is that, quoting her, she said, if the audience is that dumb to not understand that it's an ad, maybe it's their fault. And everyone lost their mind when she called her own audiences dumb. So I think, and that was in a video that she put up by herself. So I think that really like sort of triggered, not it, I think it sort of shows a lot about that person. And after that, like I unsubscribed to her. And she was also like deleting like comments that asked if it was an ad. She deleted those comments. So I think that is sort of like behavior, not body language, but behavior. Like,
For me, it also matters who the influencers I follow are associated with, because 2019, 2020, when COVID happened, I was big on these TikTok influencers and dance videos and like makeup videos. I used to follow all of them. And that's when you start getting into the lore of TikTok and what is behind this person. And then there are a lot of influencers who are charged with like a lot of felonies and like a lot of them are kind of fights and it came out one by one. And some of the influencers I used to follow, then I'm still associating with them. And now that I see it, I unfollow them immediately. And also, it's like he said, from when you went from pilot to like somebody who sells tea, and then also like audience lose trust. So because I will mention Charlie and her sister. So they had like a big brand on TikTok being dancers. And then after people stopped caring less about TikTok and started moving into like Instagram reels, they started, their own clothing line, their own foods line, their own brand of chips. Like there was nowhere related to their careers. They started their own family show like the Kardashians, and it was, it was like really lame. And then they fell off. So that's when you like stop taking these so-called influencers seriously. So that is
So, about his channel's name is called Fusion TV. So he presents data that is like if you go through news channels, newspapers, you'll find it. It's not hard to find. But he does his own journalism before he presents the same old data that you don't get bored of. So the way he narrates, it's just his voice and he makes his own music. So it's his voice, his music, and his video editing skills. That's it. So I think I've been following him since 2015 and I've not been bored for anything. And I can say that same thing goes for Vantage Valki Sharma show. The way she has she maintains the work. Gabriel Anthony next his channel was some kind of like you can say stagnant. But it's your body physic every day. There's something new to learn. There are so many muscles that you can train. So now I feel he's a bit relevant.
One person that I have continued like following is Pewdiepie. PewDiePie, in my childhood, I used to watch. He used to make gaming videos and all that. But throughout the years, his content has changed and it has developed because now he has a family, he has kid. So his content has shifted. It is not like flying bees that he has commercialized it, but he integrates it in such a graceful way that it feels like a parasocial relationship at the end of the day. But that is one person that I've followed because I find value in his content nowadays.
Influencer, which the influencers who I mentioned, like I'm currently following Mahima Chawla and Muskan Chana and Pushpa Gupta because I think that they have some attributes which I personally like. Like, firstly, there's some originality. Second, there's some relatability. Like, if I want to, like, even if I'm going out somewhere, okay, if I'm going for a social outing, and if I need to choose an outfit, then I can maybe also find out the trends from them. So they have a lot of trends going on. Also, what I really like about them is the way of talking, and sometimes I also learn, like in the way the influencer is walking, how to walk. So it helps me grooming myself also, which might be, and sometimes I also feel that these influencers might follow. They are, they showcase very unique things. So I really like them. That's why I kept following them. I did not unfollow them. But yeah, so my unfollowed as well, coach.
Coming back to the main two influencers and influencers, the reason I've been following them for a while now, and I think since that probably is also because of the niche that I'm following them for, like beauty and that lifestyle has trends, and the trend doesn't stay like 2016 makeup is not 2025 makeup. So and all of them follow the trend. So I follow. So when I'm seeing that, I'm like, oh, so this is the new thing. So that's the new thing. Okay, okay, do this. And they come up with like different topics as well, like very, very specific topics. It'll be like Pinterest girl or like something like very specific. And those are things that I relate to, and even as I'm growing, those are things that I relate to. And like shows, for example, there's a show called Kevin Blank Show in YouTube. Yeah, and there's just a group, bunch of people come together, a bunch of friends who come together, play like imposter or some game like that. And those games are just fun because they come up with like new ideas, new topics, and it's just almost the same panel every week, but it's new topics, and so it's always fun.
Is it the same flow like where Instagram has those reels where there are kids using the I personally, a few influencers on the topics which I follow are more for social currency. So like the F1 oriented or automobile oriented influencers or pages which I follow them primarily because the knowledge which they give out is something which obviously usually will not change. I mean, the number of horsepower a car has, driver has won't change. So following those people gives me that social currency, that cloud, that if I go somewhere and if I share that information, people will perceive me, okay, this guy is actually properly a avid fan, not just the TTS wannabe who likes Shah. So because of that, I follow F1 Stats Guru, Hard Tech, etc. Also, the sort of technical knowledge which they give. I am a person who does not have any engineering knowledge. But if today people ask me about very technical specifications about how F1 or maybe even MotoGP or WEC works, I can explain that in layman's terms because that's how I was able to learn from those influencers because they taught it in a layman term. So that is why I've been following them for the past 5 years now with no sort of prospect of me unfollowing them because their content is still relevant and useful and has not managed actually to go into the cringy area.
So I follow people like, for example, if I take Zoom Rati, so you can clearly see the difference in the quality of the video he used to make and what quality of video he makes right now. So I believe the quality of the content should be rich, and if not improve, it should at least remain the same and it should not deteriorate at least. So
It's really same. So she's made like funny skits and videos back when I was still in school. And slowly I've stopped watching her videos and consuming her content. But like I still, whenever I see her on my feed, I still want to know what she's up to. Because that is the kind of persona that she has. And it has influenced me a lot. And you know, at one time I got biography, I got a self-help book. I am not a self-help person, but I got a book and it was 800 rupees at the time. It was the biggest purchase in my life. And I wanted to be her. Like, she was the strongest woman I knew at that point. So even now, whenever I see her videos, I take my time to sit and watch all of her videos. So yeah, I think the sense of nostalgia and like reminiscing is what I think stays.
that sometimes when you watch movie, it is old me. So yeah, that was.
Maybe it's something of a generational thing, first. But if somebody becomes viral overnight, I would like to understand why. Right. Maybe if you are an avid tea drinker, then you must be knowing about the early child. When that he gains and maintain. So overnight,
Yeah.
he was like a celebrity child, right? And what was the specialty? The way in which he makes chai. That's it. But then he has that fan for it. Now, recently in Mangalore, when they had this big fun fair, so they invited him as a chief guest, and he prepared chai, and the municipality head or somebody came, he drank that chai. So why is it that that is happening? He's not an influencer, but then he has become a celebrity, right? So maybe you switch in, and then after some time, when the virality of his videos they go, and then you switch off, you come back to whoever. So these things, maybe it might be a generational thing in my case, but that is how you actually start following somebody or following as such, but then following their videos, their content, and then yes, after it them, and then you just switch off, follow their videos because there is nothing new coming.
So you can say about ballpark estimate.
I suppose relevance to whatever you are trying to find. If somebody is filling that gap, supplying that required knowledge or information, it need not be knowledge of this or information, then you might be in the thought of following him or her for a longer period. And honesty, of course, and then how strongly they understand that knowledge or that information. Where is it coming from? What is their hold on that? So, right. So those things I suppose will be, for me at least, it's the right.
For me, I think that then this is not thing because if they're saying one thing in one video and they're completely against it, it doesn't make sense. The second one is relatability. So like we were talking about, since with respect to like that also.
For me, I think it would be authenticity, then honesty, and then how much do they know about the current market? I'm talking about product influencer. They should have like proper knowledge as to what people are attracted to, what people are demanding.
Me also honesty comes first, like if the person is not honest with his content, with his work, or he has a propaganda, he has something about something like that, then that's completely. If there's a person who can articulate his thoughts properly, then I would definitely want that person. So it would be easier for me to grasp what he's saying.
I understand that the person is using a persona, but the first thing that I would value is authenticity. And he is at the core of it, the person. He's using a person. Second would be consistency with their like production, whatever they produce is consistent with what they believe. It is not that they are just following a fad for something that's doing. And third would be again the source of their whatever they're coming up. It should be proper source and it
Stay obviously, then style also matters. And also what matters to me is how humble also they are, like there should not be a display of too much of arrogance in videos. So there should be some kind of humility. And I also feel that relevance also matters to me, like it should
Right? So if you can relate with him or her, then you will definitely. Should be there.
kindness actually. Because the influencers that I follow, they get a lot of PR. I know some influencers, they just dump PR in the house, they just leave. But Monica, for example, like she passes some of these PRs, make personalized, like hampers for her followers, and she sends it to them. So it's like good usage of her PR. And I think that sort of is like a nice thing. Or like just generally when influencers are nice, I like
For me, whichever influencer I follow, or sort of the niche which I follow besides the gymming or the bodybuilding sort of content creators, I don't have any such long list because the people who I follow are either data oriented. data is either right or wrong. There is no question of authenticity or humbleness or kindness that comes with it, as long as it's knowledge, exactly. It's gray and black and white. For the gym goer types, the people I follow are usually either accredited or I can see the progress which they are able to give to their clients. Because obviously they show post, okay, this is the difference they are making, as long as it is not harmful for me. And if I follow someone blindly, whatever recommendation they give, then I'm the dumb person. They are not. They are just, disseminating information. So that's why I don't have any such, hard and fast list as to the attributes a creator should have. But I think the one thing which I would like to put a little bit higher in the top five, so to speak, as Sir mentioned, would be relatability. If I relate to a particular content creator, whatever content they are creating. Like these days, since MBA started, I don't know why or how my Instagram just started showing first day at MBA in Extra, first day in IIM Metro, first day in IIM Bangalore. So yeah,
Yes.
LinkedIn, so for LinkedIn, it was obvious. I was expecting that, okay, it's the start of the season, people are going to post. Same for the SIP season, which started and ended. But when that sort of keeps going on again and again and again, same sort of content. Like I know when Coldplay started coming up, I knew Coldplay is just going to burst on the scene. Coldplay again came into the light because of the astronomer fiasco. So relatability and relevance is something which I would weigh higher. Things like I haven't yet been required to or follow any such creators for maybe products or even brand influencers for which I would, put a higher weightage to their own sort of how truthful they are, what their associations are. Like if I follow Gary Minati, I'm obviously not going to see which sort of party he's going to vote for. He creates funny content, that's why my association with him ends. So that's
I think for three of you, since you follow like self and
Yeah.
I think that credibility is like a very important thing. If I think like in the list that we're making, it's like credibility.
Yes, correct. Actually, I think if I had put it first, for me, it will be relevant. Because it's my
like a beyond, or say a
right increase, sort of gives gyan or at least dispels useful information. And when that person to appease the audience step steeped down that particular level which didn't suit him, it sort of started a fire of backlash. Samir Rana has been doing that for a long time. Ashish Zansilani, even Rebel Kid to Apurva, I think his name, even her to a certain extent has done that. But when someone like Ranveer Rana did it, it's bad. So that's where the person should have realized, okay, my niche is not going very casual. My niche is being formal. Praful Garg, if he comes on India's Got Talent, he's going to be very careful because he can't go down to the levels of somewhere I am in terms of humor, not in terms of character. So Praful Garg, for example, is a very formal person. You obviously won't see, let's say, Dr. S. Jaishankar on a video quoting memes or putting in niche pop references. Right. For casual, anyone in the YouTube scene, I would say, like Karimati, Ashish Silani, Samay all the stand-up comics, they would come in the casual point of view. That is very obvious. And some people like both of these mentioned some influencers who are into the product scene or beauty scene, they would maybe try to make the sales pitch in a different manner. For example, if a sort of reel comes up on my feed, then I see it's just like a table with a lot of products on it. I know this is going to be a sales pitch, especially if I say Stanley cup holder, I know there's going to be a sales pitch for something. Then just straight away go on to the next one. So sometimes not even the tone of an influencer, just the backdrop of the video, just the scenes out of the video, they are able to indicate, at least to me, that okay, this is the tone.
Sales one is the worst one, as you know, during the video, you know when this pitch is coming, and you're like tap, 40-second phone. Sales one is the worst one. They can cycle between formal and casual. That's okay. They do cycle between when they're like quoting something, they're going formal, and otherwise they're casual. But the sales one is it sounds phony and it looks phony as well.
So yes, for me also like sales which don't work, I immediately skip.
Exactly.
And things like that. But in case of like formal and casual, like for example, Tanvir Bhatt, he does it very casually, and the way he does it is also very entertaining sometimes. And also sometimes there can be like products which I even want to gain some information, and some YouTubers like show the use case of that product in their YouTube videos. So sometimes I don't skip that part, and I usually watch that to even educate myself that what is this product about. So it varies from person to person and from my
Yeah, I think depending on the niche, or depending on the genre that they are making on, like for example, if you talk about so you're trying to get it, and obviously you want to get it informed way. Yes, whereas like other like product lifestyle influencers, or like even sometimes I think on say like a more informal way would suit a bit would reach us better. Or sometimes I think I don't know how the person because I don't know how they allow people. It's like a formal.
When it's data oriented, it's formal. When it's racing incidents and funny things, it has to be casual.
So I think now if there will be a knowledge, then yeah.
But there is a
it
very
needs to
distinct
become-
line between who is formal and who is casual.
Mm.
The blurriness is very little.
Yeah. And I think the worst part about sales pitches is when you don't answer sales pitch. When they start just like explaining the scenario and they're like doing amazing storytelling and I'm like, wow, all this is happening, suddenly they bring out a product. And I was like, I wasted my time. Like I really
lost my food when I saw this cursor video things. And he was promoting this like what some MBA school or some I don't know the name. Like this MBA school, a very famous guy, he promotes his business school, Masters Union, business school. Entire video for an advertisement and it was completed on
like if you just say disclaimer, it's an ad and then start. I was
Yeah. Disclaimers are better, I guess.
See, I think this points, for example, if I follow niche influencers like Ranveer Alabadia, then their style should be formal because if you're talking about topics like spirituality and astrology, then you should somewhat be, you should not be too informal about it. And then you should display that in your behavior also, which did not happen as you mentioned about the controversy. And if I talk about other influencers such as those who are engaged in lifestyle and fashion, then obviously a little bit of formal and casual works, but too much of sales, which I do not personally like because then it seems like you are not being too authentic. And then if you talk about the educational influencers, then yeah, somewhat I have also seen that some educational influencers just want to promote. If you buy this course, you will get a job. Okay, do this, you will get a new skill. Okay, get into this, but it does not really happen. So education influencers, I think, should be formed. That's what I think.
I watch I like it when they incorporate memes and trending audios from Instagram or TikTok and and they're using it in TV show references. That is what really interests me. Buying the product is secondary, but I will sit there and listen to what they have to say.
So just space. Okay, so
Influencers are all about brand building, brand image. So as long as there is congruence between what they set out to do and what they are doing, so there will be people always, and those followers will not leave. But then when there is an incongruence as to what they started with, as the case of Pilot selling a key, so he has come out of it, he has done. So as long as there is congruency between these two parts, people will still come.
And also there has to be some kind of a congruence between what the influencer is and what the brand is. For example, a Dhruv Rathi would not look nice promoting a Dream 11 app or something like that that involves financial risk and it's not good. We know it, but so there has to be some type of kind of congruence and similarity between the personalities of the brand and the product and the influencer.
For example, in the initial days, again giving the example of Gary Nutty, he was very regular. He was uploading videos at the rate of once or twice a week even. But I was in class 9, 10 at that point of time. The sort of words that he used seemed funny at that time. The references he gave were funny. The rants which he did was also funny. So that's why I started following him at that point of time. I still follow him on YouTube and on Instagram. But because he was able to be consistent over a period of, let's say, 5 years when he first started out, he managed to build a loyalty base that even today, when he posts a video on YouTube, maybe once a year or maybe once in 6 months, there are still people who talk about Karimnati because he managed to ingrain himself mostly in a good manner because regardless of what he says, he seems to be a good person, at least on camera. So he managed to ingrain himself with people of my generation, especially people who immediately had COVID immediately after their school ended, who were just stuck at home. So that called out to us, and there's still that sort of loyalty. Okay, I don't buy any product he endorses. I don't exactly watch shows he's a part of, but I still like to go back to his old YouTube videos just for the nostalgic video.
Yeah, like you said,
So he built his brand up. Ashish Ansalani, he posted a photo with some influencer. The entire internet was aflame that okay, they are dating now. It turns out it was promo for a music video. But since Ashish Ansalani has such a mega fan base, such a huge fan base across India and I think globally also there is some relevance. That's why just the photo gained so much traction without any sort of context behind it.
Like Gary Nutty has no relation to food items. But recently there was a saucy chicken popcorn at KFC that was Gary Nutty theme.
Yeah.
So I had not was Gary Nutty for some time. But when I walked into that KFC, I was like, let's try it. It's Gary Nutty theme. Like I don't know what comes with it, but that's popcorn only. Yeah. So I think nostalgia again is important. It stays with.
I think there should be no dissonance in terms of like, if you advocate something, I mean, you should stick to it. Like, there should not be any news coming next day. That, okay, this influencer said this influencer made this was in this, viewed in this controversy. So I think there should be no dissonance in their, what they advocate and with their attitude.
So
Continue to be in a person, even if his followers is 1 lakh or 10 million, whatever his followers, but the humbleness in the video should remain the same.
So according to me, I think they should learn. I mean, as humans, even they should learn what is the dynamic behavior of the environment they are living in. So, like many examples we took, there are people who understood and now they are changing their content. PewDiePie is one person who does that. There are few who didn't understand they are irrelevant into the most of the population. The tech world, if I had to choose in formal catalog and the sales pitch, few of the like renowned tech influencers like Mr. Bruce the Boss and Marcus Brownie.
Yeah.
What they started to do is they started introducing their ad as a separate like bookmark in the chapter mark in the so you can easily skip it. So I think for me it is how relevant they stay with the environment they are in.
It will just. How they.
He's a big shit.
Influencers talk like they are your best friends, that they talk as if they're talking to a friend. And if we see, for example, Emma Chamberlain, her entire content is made like she's talking to a friend. And so when you're receiving that content, it's like, oh, you're watching your, long, far away friend just talking to you. So that sort of, again, I think that comes to relatability, but the tone that you use when you're excited about something, you talk in an excited way, or when you're scared, I think in a very animated way, that because I also talk like that. So when someone shows the way that I talk or the way that I talk to my friends, I'm really attracted and I watch the entire videos.
I like it when, whatever content they're putting out, it doesn't seem forced at least. So it should be something that they are passionate about. And like Samita said, they should have a friendly vibe with them. You're talking to a friend and, you would like to at least consider their opinion. So that's what I.
It's more.
Should inculcate that thought in me.
Yes, I also believe with him that after watching the video, that I should be like, if the person has been able to like influence me to think about that video later on. Like even if I'm done with the video, I'm still thinking about the video, then it's a great video for me. And also in terms of the tone, I would like it to be, for me personally, I like it to be not too much energetic, but a standard tone. Not too much high, not too much low, but like, and the words also play a very important role for me. The language he's using and the words he's using and the vocabulary he's using is very important for me.
Coming back to Hamza, in his videos, he plays two characters. There's a Jeffrey, like, who is down in life, and one is an Adonis, who's like, cool in life. He has success and whatnot. And at that point, he changes his tones. Whenever he's talking, when he has that Adonis persona, throughout the video, when he has an off-home video, he talks in a very down to, a very deep tone, a very big brother type tone, right? That really like resonates with me when he's talking something that has impact. The tone that he speaks in actually makes that impact more impactful, if I will put it. Right? So yeah, the tone really helps. The tone, if there is consistency in that tone, like it's not fake, then it is really much.
For me, at this current point of time, I usually follow pages or influencers, so to speak, who are more related towards given knowledge in specific domains. I do not follow any influencers who just put out humor-based videos. Like I said, I do not follow Vishnu Kaushal anymore. So because of that, the tonality of a person currently I follow, they have a good mixture of both posts as well as reels. So even if I do not like the tonality, even if I do not, I can just go to the post, or they usually have subtitles in the reels, so I can just mute it and watch it. So that's why I don't think the tonality, body language, the sort of modulation, it doesn't matter to me currently because my preferences are more towards knowledge.
So you are more interested in what
The information they are providing.
information?
Yes, that's it.
Classic example would be Bhakti in terms of diction, in terms of tonality, in terms of the use of words, and the weight that she puts behind those words, the pauses that she takes, the knowledge that she shares, the homework that she does. Right. So basically, it is she is bearing, uh, uh, bearing all the facts on the table, and then what you do with those facts, she will tell her side of the story. But then the facts are on the table, and then you can make up your uh, own understanding of whatever news is that she is presenting. So that is influential. Yes, some of us have already said that that makes you want to listen to her again and again, right? That is what helps you or wants you or makes you come back to her channel and listen to more newscasts from her. So that does help, and you remember, yes. So the top of the mind, the recall of what she had to say about a certain news or a certain context, and she keeps India right at the top.
Yes.
Where right, so that also helps. So maybe yes, the diction, tone, the use of vocabulary, the use of words, the weightage that they put on these, the pauses that they have between words, the impact that is created because of those factors. All of those things.
I think conversation started, which I probably most immediate, like they might not be very useful, they might not make a lot of sense. So I think that the file can be better.
So we'll call it a day. Yes, and we'll stop the recording now. It was in statements from each. So thank you once again. Wish you all the best going forward. See you in different locations, maybe in class, maybe in some other places.
Thank you so much for thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye. Okay, thank you. No, his microphone is, our microphone is muted. He has muted us.
they all aiming, they can see. Recorded transcript पर नहीं कर सकते.
Explain to us. नहीं, कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
हमारे ये
So we just leave the meeting.